All right, welcome back, everybody, to the deep dive. We're diving into something pretty unexpected this time.
Unexpected.
Maybe not unexpected, but pretty simple.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Beetroot. We're talking all about beetroot.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, we've got this really cool article from Minecraft.net all about beetroot in the game.
Interesting. I'm ready to dig in.
Yeah, so are we.
Hmm.
I think we all have some stacks of beetroot somewhere in our Minecraft chests. But there's actually a whole lot more to them than meets the eye.
Yeah, when you think about it, they're kind of an interesting addition. Like, how did they even decide to add beetroot to the game?
Oh, yeah, good point. Well, the article actually mentions that beetroot first showed up with the combat update.
The combat update.
Yeah, back in 2016. Kind of funny, right? Combat and beetroot, not exactly the most obvious pairing.
Not really what comes to mind when you think of fighting zombies.
I know, right? So I was a little puzzled, too. But digging deeper, it kind of makes sense. The developers at Mojang, they've always been all about making Minecraft feel like a real living world, right?
Right, yeah.
So even adding something as simple as beetroot, well, it opens up all these new possibilities. Farming, food, even the whole in-game economy changes a bit.
Yeah, I see your point. It's all about creating this interconnected world, right?
Exactly. So it's not just about battling it out. It's about like actually living in this world and using what you find to survive.
Yeah, and thrive.
Exactly. So how about we talk about getting our hands on this magical beetroot? How do we find it?
Well, just like in the real world, you've got a few options. You can stumble across beetroot seeds in chests, maybe while you're exploring villages or something. Or you can get lucky and find them from those wandering traders.
Oh yeah, the wandering traders. I always forget about those guys.
They can be pretty handy sometimes. You never know what they'll have. And of course, once you've got yourself a beetroot, you can plant the seeds and just keep growing more.
Yeah, and they grow so fast too. I remember in my survival world, I planted a whole field of beetroot, and like in no time, I had way more than I knew what to do with.
Oh, yeah, that's the beauty of beetroot. They really multiply quickly. So what'd you do with all that beetroot?
Well, I mean, you can eat them raw,
Mhm.
right, for a quick hunger boost when you're in a pinch. But I usually like to make beetroot soup.
Beetroot soup, that's fancy.
It's not too hard to make, and it's a really good way to like really fill up your hunger bar. Plus, it just sounds kind of cozy.
Yeah, like a warm meal after a long day of mining.
Exactly. But food isn't the only thing beetroot is good for in Minecraft.
Oh, absolutely not. Remember we talked about Mojang wanting to make the game world feel connected?
Yeah.
Well, beetroot actually plays a big part in that. They're a key ingredient for making red dye,
Oh,
which you can then use for like a ton of different things. Dyeing banners, wool, leather armor, even stained glass. You can really personalize your world with it.
and it all starts with the humble beetroot. Oh, and don't forget, you need beetroot to breed pigs.
That's right.
I always thought that was so funny. Like, even in a video game, pigs and beetroot just go together.
It's actually a really cool detail that ties back to real life. A lot of farmers actually use beets, including beetroot, as feed for pigs.
Really?
It's a great source of nutrients for them. And just like in real life, beetroot also has value in the Minecraft economy. You can trade them with farmer villagers for emeralds, or even use them to make bone meal for your composter.
Wait, so you can compost beetroot in the game, too?
Yep, which then gives you bone meal to help your crops grow faster. It's like this whole cycle of sustainability, just like in the real world.
That's actually really cool. I never thought of it that way. It's like Minecraft is secretly teaching us about sustainable farming practices.
Exactly. And it all comes back to this idea of creating a game world that feels real and interconnected.
Okay, so we've talked about beetroot in Minecraft, but what about in, like, real life?
Right. So let's step out of the virtual world for a bit and into the real world of beetroots. They've actually got a pretty fascinating history.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, for starters, beetroots have been around for ages. They originated in Europe but were domesticated in the Middle East. We even have evidence of people eating beetroots all the way back in Roman times.
Wow. So while I'm making my beetroot soup in Minecraft, I'm actually, like, tapping into this ancient culinary tradition.
Exactly. It's really cool how something we might see as just a simple vegetable today has actually been a part of human history for so long.
So how did people use beetroot back in the day?
Well, besides eating them, of course, they also use them for medicine.
Medicine? Really?
Yeah, especially in the Middle Ages, beetroot was thought to cure all sorts of ailments.
Huh, interesting.
And get this, there's even a record from a 15th century Italian writer who recommended beetroot as a cure for garlic breath.
No way.
Yeah, a natural breath freshener from centuries ago.
Okay, now that's a life hack I wish I knew about back in high school.
It just shows you how something we might take for granted today could have been seen as like a miracle cure back then.
It makes you wonder, what else about beetroot are we missing?
Exactly. And, beetroots are still a really popular ingredient in lots of cultures around the world.
Oh, for sure.
Like in Eastern Europe, they have this beetroot soup called borscht, which is super popular.
Borscht, I've heard of that. It's bright red, right?
Yeah. And it's more than just soup. It's like a symbol of warmth and hospitality. It's often served at special occasions and family gatherings, stuff like that.
So it's got, like, cultural significance.
Absolutely. And since we're talking about Minecraft, we can't forget about Sweden,
Oh, right.
where the game was created. They have a dish called biffa la Lindström, where beetroot is mixed into meatballs or even burgers
Or,
sometimes.
like, beetroot burgers.
Beetroot burgers. It just shows how Minecraft, this game where you can build anything, also pulls from real-world culinary traditions in really cool ways.
I know. It's so cool how everything connects, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
we started with this blocky beetroot in Minecraft and ended up talking about ancient remedies and Swedish cuisine
And pig feed.
and pig feed. It's amazing how much you can learn from something as simple as a beetroot.
Absolutely. It just shows you how much depth and history there is to even the most everyday things.
I know, it's making me look at beetroot in a whole new light.
Yeah.
What's been the most interesting thing for you about all this?
I think it's the reminder that even the simplest things can have these amazing stories behind them. Like, we often just see beetroot as this, red vegetable. But when you actually dig a little deeper, you find this whole web of connections to history, culture, and even to our own lives.
Totally. It makes you wonder what other secrets are hidden in plain sight, just waiting for us to uncover them.
Exactly. And it makes you want to go out and explore more, right?
Totally. So listeners, here's something for you to ponder.
Hmm.
Could all the different ways we use beetroot in Minecraft, like the sustainable farming, the crafting, the trading, could those inspire new ways to use beetroot in the real world?
That's a really interesting question. I mean, maybe there's some new kind of dye we haven't thought of yet, or a medical breakthrough, or even a new way to build sustainably, all thanks to the humble beetroot.
Who knows? Maybe the key to solving some of the world's problems is right there in our garden.
That's a pretty cool thought.
I know, right? So until then, we encourage you all to go out and experiment with beetroot.
Yeah, get creative in the kitchen.
Try making some beetroot soup, or a colorful salad, or even those Swedish beetroot burgers we talked about.
Oh, I'm definitely trying those.
Me too. And who knows, maybe one of you will be the one to discover the next big thing with beetroot. So share your creations and your discoveries with us because we're all on this beetroot journey together.
To beetroot?
To beetroot.